Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Time to follow your dream. This is Stand Up University Comedy School, starring the freshest faces in stand-up comedy, where in less than 1 week, our professors will turn you into a real stand-up comedian.
Getting arrested, like, it wasn't that bad. I got a new comedy headshot.
Working at Carvel ruined the joy of ice cream for me. I hated that my sneakers were always sticking to the floor. And I hated when it was my turn to pick the ants out of the sprinkles.
Then there was the undertaker when I was young. I was engaged to him. He would pick me up on a date, and he would take me to the airport to pick up a corpse. And then he'd want me to make out in the back. That was my first and last threesome.
Tonight, you are going to see people coming on stage and being stand-up comedians for the first time in their lives. And I think they deserve a round of applause in advance for having the courage to come up here for the first and the last times in their lives.
If you go 5 weeks without any weight loss, Weight Watchers calls that a plateau. I've been on a plateau since 1987. You know how hard it is to lose those last 66 pounds?
Stand Up University, we meet on Tuesday nights, and we work so hard on getting them a 5 or 6 minute set of new original material. This is great, and it's only the third week. Topic, premise, punchline. Next week, we want you to come in at least looking for the twist.
It's tough when you have 4 teachers involved. We have George Rini, we have Peter Bales, and we have Steve Lazarus all chiming in at once, and nobody gets to learn from me.
And I gotta tell you, sometimes Rich Walker is to comedy what an iceberg is to the Titanic. Sometimes I just disagree with what he says. It drives me crazy. But eventually we come to a consensus, and I'm pretty much every time right.
It's unbelievable. Whatever he comes up with is complete dreck.
It's great to work with Steve.
The punchline has to be believable.
You can turn off the
where
camera.
you can't say, yeah, so I have one hand, or I have one leg, or one arm. It has to be where the audience is going to believe, like you said, what you just said about being a twin. It's not believable. It has to be somewhat where the audience is going to accept the punchline.
Sometimes he's a bit slow.
All right, Steve.
That is his-
Steve.
Oh, his
okay,
brother was there.
Steve,
Yes.
just real quick, tell him the believability rule, then we'll answer your question.
Go.
Believability rule.
Yeah.
And a bit awkward, and a bit blunt, but at heart, he's really not that funny.
Pork or bacon? Pork or bacon?
You know, he's not very articulate.
Purple or lavender? Purple or lavender?
Rich is a good comedian. Sometimes.
And this guy doesn't understand why he doesn't get paid for this. Eleanor, the older woman, she did unbelievable. Steve was arguing with me from the beginning. He says, I don't think so. I'm telling you, I said, this one's going to shine.
I recently went into a club and I didn't realize it was a gay club. All the guys were dancing with me because I thought I was a transvestite. Might get a laugh there. And then you have another, and the punchline, the real punchline is, it was really my own fault. I never should have worn those chaps.
They know what that means?
Yeah.
Chaps are assless pants.
Oh, assless pants.
Yeah.
They believe that I would wear that. I used to
Nobody's
wear
gonna
cowboy boots.
It's a joke.
Okay, chaps.
Nobody really believes you would wear them.
Okay, I did wear cowboy boots many
No, I know,
times.
but no, chaps. Has to be
You know
chaps.
what the problem here is? You're an actress. And an actress, all your lines are written for you. In stand-up comedy, you're the writer, the director, the producer, the costume department. You are everything in one person. So that you're struggling a little bit with, you're
I'm
writing
used to being
jokes now.
told where to look, where to smile.
Right.
For what? Who cares? You pay me how much?
But listen, this is going well because you've got 2 keepers here. We definitely have the Undertaker joke and we definitely have the transvestite joke. Those are 2 keepers. Those are hard to do. I'm not sure you're recognizing them, but we're saying them. You know, I recently went to a club and I didn't realize it was a gay club. All the guys were dancing with me because they thought I was a transvestite. It's my own fault. I never should have worn those chaps. That's possibly 2 laughs.
And then recently I go to a gay club, and I'm wondering why I'm so popular. Me with my broad shoulders, I'm tall. I danced and I danced and I was having a hell of a time. How did I know they thought I was a transvestite? You know, I realized I shouldn't have worn my chaps.
And she listened to every word we said, which was so key. We tell them in the beginning of the class, listen to us, but sometimes they don't, and then they have an awful set at the end.
I really like the Navy. They were very concerned about my health. I got a daily prostate exam in the shower. Cheer up.
But most of the time, if they listen, the best.
I'm Jewish. And people ask me, you know, you were in a fraternity, like, were you hazed? I was hazed really hard, but not by my friend. To get into my religion when I was 7 days old.
Associated with this achievement, you are hereby a stand-up comedian. May you go forth and spread the gift of laughter. Nancy rocks. Nancy rocks.
This was a great diversion for me. I came and took the class at the recommendation of another member of the class, and I really just took it because I speak at my Toastmasters Club, and I understand that I could use a little humor in my speeches, and I thought, because I'm not really very funny, that coming to a workshop and just have someone teach you the discipline, show you how people make it look so easy.
I love my mother-in-law. She's always looking out for me. When I was sick, she made me homemade soup. When I lost my purse, she bought me a beautiful Coach handbag. And when she heard me arguing with her son, she got me a date on Match.com.
All right, and Anthony Lotato. Anthony.
I was surprised a lot of my setups actually got laughs too. They got really big laughs on some of the setups. So I don't know, I was surprised by the energy that kind of the crowd had, so that was exciting. I really liked how you guys structured the class. You know, it was a lot of, it just made a lot of sense. You know, it was like not stressful at all to come here. I was kind of worried about it at first. I'm like, I don't know, stand-up comedy is kind of a hard thing to teach. How do you teach that? But I think it was done in a very organic way, that the jokes kind of grew out of it, and it's, you know, sustainable after this. You can go out and do this with anything.
I have the exact same name as my grandfather, which confuses a lot of people. We're both Anthony Lodato. So we had a visiting nurse come into the house, and she thought I was his patient. And I corrected her, of course. As soon as she finished the sponge bath,
I'm going to miss it. I did a lot of trusting, like he said before, trusting and how to do things, and I tried to follow. I didn't get it down pat, but I added my own stuff in there. But when you use the word trust, if I really were that trusting and how many illegitimate children I'd have. Usually I'm not that trusting. I go on a date and I want to go home. What do I say? I can't say there's a babysitter waiting. I can't blame it on cramps. So I tell him, look, I gotta get home by 10 because I gotta watch Murder, She Wrote.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a hand for the graduating class of Stand-Up University? Come on, let them hear it. July 2014. Let them hear it. They are comics. They did it. Let them hear it. Everybody wave good night. Everybody wave. Good night, everybody. See you
pork or bacon, pork or bacon.